How can you help children become active thinkers while reading? Today, I'm going to model a guided read aloud using the book Hum and Swish by Matt Myers. As we read, I'll demonstrate how parents and teachers can use questions and predictions to help children engage with the story and build comprehension skills. I'm Dr. Sheila Tate, a reading instruction professor. Before we begin reading, let's take a look at the book. This is the title, Hum and Swish. The author and illustrator is Matt Myers, and you might want to talk with your student or child about sometimes the author not only writes the words, but they draw the pictures and illustrations as well. You also might want to ask your student, when we begin reading, where do we start? So today we're going to focus on asking questions and making predictions while we read. Good readers are constantly thinking about what might happen next, using clues from the story to support their thinking. Children must be taught how to do this, and the best way is to model for them what good readers do while reading. So let's look carefully at the cover, and we're going to make some predictions. So you might want to ask your child or student, what do you see on the cover of the book? So I could model and say, I see a girl at the beach, and I notice that she's busy working on something in the sand. I wonder what she's creating. What do you think this story might be about? Then allow time for your child to talk about what they see and make a prediction about what the story will be about. Those would be great predictions, you might say. Let's read and find out. And you may want to remind your student that a prediction uses clues from the story or pictures to support their thinking. So I'll read a few pages. Jamie and the sea are friends. Jamie hums, the waves swish. People come and go, asking questions. What are you making there? I don't know, Jamie says. Aren't you clever? I don't know, Jamie says. Isn't that pretty? I don't know, Jamie says. What's that supposed to be? I don't know, Jamie says. So I notice on these first few pages that people keep asking Jamie questions about what she's doing. That makes me wonder something. Why do you think everyone wants to know what she's making? This gives your child or student time to think about why we ask questions or why those people are asking Jamie questions. I'm noticing also that Jamie doesn't always answer right away. That tells me she might be concentrating very hard on her project. I might also ask, how do you think she feels when people keep interrupting her? Let's look closely at her face and body language for clues. So, as we look back at the pictures, we might notice, or you might point out to your child, Jamie doesn't look at the person asking the question. She just continues working. And here on this page, she continues working even though the person is asking a question. Here, she does look up. Why do you think? Look at her face. How do you think she feels? And then allow your child to make some predictions. As we continue reading, I'm starting to form a prediction. I think that she's working on something very important because she keeps returning to it even when people ask her questions. What do you predict she's making? So you might have your child turn back and look at the beginning and then the next page and then the next page so that they can make a guess. Let's keep reading and see if our predictions are correct. So as you continue to read, how cute is that? And then Jamie is continuing to look at her creation. Okay. Then she's back in the water. The waves swish. Jamie hums. So, good readers don't just guess randomly. They use clues from the picture and the story to support their predictions. Some of our predictions may have been correct and some may have changed, and that's normal. As readers, we often revise our thinking when we learn new information from the story. As you continue reading, you might ask your child, what clues help you make that prediction? What do you think the character made that choice? And what would you do if you were in her situation? You might even ask before you finish the book, how do you think the story will end? Well, today we practiced asking questions, making predictions, and using clues from the illustration and the story to support our thinking. These strategies help children become active readers who engage with the story instead of simply listening to the words. When you're reading with children, remember you don't need to ask questions on every page. Just choose a few meaningful moments to pause. Encourage your child to think and discuss what they notice. These conversations help build comprehension, oral language, and critical thinking skills. If you have a literacy question, feel free to share it. I'd love to answer it in a future video.